If you've spent any time on the internet within the past 24 hours, you are already completely aware that something absolutely unbelievable has intensely dominated social media feeds everywhere. Telegram discussion groups are rapidly blowing up, X threads are successfully going viral, numerous YouTube reaction videos are constantly dropping every single hour, and even Reddit is completely drowning in thousands of intense comments. The exact reason for this chaos? A short, very mysterious video clip that people are aggressively claiming shows President Donald Trump suggesting the Iraqi dinar could very soon be officially valued close to the official US dollar, potentially near 96 cents. That simple idea has immediately triggered one of the single biggest, most electrifying waves of widespread excitement the dinar investment community has witnessed in numerous years. People are now fervently calling this moment a clear confirmation, a definite signal, a strong hint, or even a deep, hidden political message. Regardless of whether any of this specific claim is officially or verifiably real, the entire internet has absolutely exploded in speculation. And today, we will methodically break down every single detail of this situation so that you can fully understand precisely what actually happened, why so many people are reacting in this specific way, and what this potentially means for the future value of the Iraqi dinar as we move through 2025. You must stay completely with me all the way until the very end, because the deeper we collectively investigate, the more surprising this entire story surprisingly becomes. And truly, trust me on this, you definitely do not want to miss any single part of this unfolding event. This entire social media storm initially began when a short, very low-quality video clip started rapidly circulating across all online platforms, reportedly showing President Donald Trump speaking at what strongly appears to be a private fundraiser or perhaps a closed gathering. The clip ends abruptly, the angle is unfortunately unclear, and the audio quality is far from perfect, all classic ingredients for immediate online chaos and unverified speculation. But the specific part that immediately sent major shockwaves throughout the entire internet was a single sentence that eager people are claiming relates to Iraq's national currency quickly becoming one of the most financially valuable in the entire region. Immediately, numerous online channels began intensely interpreting that brief statement as a definite, immediate sign of the long-awaited change. Some people aggressively went so far as to even claim Trump was clearly hinting at a specific exchange rate near $1 to 1 dinar. That is precisely where the now extremely famous 96 cents number started rapidly gaining intense traction. Within a matter of mere minutes, numerous accounts began reposting the information, adding bold captions, pushing dramatic theories, and speculating wildly about the actual meaning. Before much time had passed, thousands upon thousands of hopeful people were intensely discussing a so-called officially confirmed revaluation event. Some ecstatic individuals excitedly said this was the precise, defining moment they had been patiently waiting for over a full decade, the exact moment they felt everything finally clicked into place for them. The clip spread so incredibly fast that even people well outside of the core dinar world began urgently asking what was truly going on and why everyone was suddenly and simultaneously talking about an immediate Iraqi currency revalue. The subsequent internet reaction has been truly nothing short of absolutely massive and unprecedented. In key Telegram groups, people were posting numerous celebratory emojis as if the long-awaited Darby had officially gone live that very same minute. On X, numerous users were posting screenshots, charts, and supposed secret bank rates that allegedly flashed briefly before instantaneously disappearing from digital displays. A few confident people even claimed they personally saw the specific 96 cents rate appear briefly on digital banking boards during their routine, everyday bank transactions. YouTube instantly exploded with numerous creators rapidly repeating the unverified rumor, reacting strongly to the viral clip, or offering their own specific takes on what Trump may have allegedly intended to mean. Some rushed to make highly urgent videos instructing people to immediately prepare for a rapid rate change. Others cautiously urged restraint, correctly pointing out that the clip could have easily been edited or manipulated, regardless of the camera angle. One fact was immediately and completely clear: this single rumor spread far faster than any dinar-related story from the past full 5 years. Dinar holders who had spent numerous years waiting, hoping, analyzing, and doubting suddenly felt a profound, renewed surge of excitement and focus. It was ultimately not just fundamentally about the short clip itself. It was much more about the deep, powerful feeling that maybe, just perhaps, the world was finally paying genuine attention to Iraq's strong financial rise and progress. That powerful emotional surge is a massive part of the reason why this entire unverified story blew up across the internet so quickly. But now, we must strategically step back and diligently break this complex situation down from a rational, clear, news-oriented perspective. First and most critically, there is absolutely no official, verified statement, transcript, or authenticated recording from Trump that confirms a 96-cent dinar rate. That specific fact is absolutely essential and paramount for everyone to fully understand at this moment. The viral clip that initially started this entire social media frenzy only appears to show him speaking generally about Iraq's massive economic potential and its intrinsic ability to eventually become a very strong financial player due to ongoing national restructuring, oil reserves, and natural resources. That specific part of the statement is perfectly believable. But simply saying a currency will inevitably be strong in the future is definitively not the same as formally confirming a specific exchange rate or timeline. The internet has a well-known tendency to love filling in all the blanks with speculation, and in this particular chaotic instance, people rapidly filled in those blanks with the specific number that sounded both the most dramatic and the most immediately achievable in their minds. What we absolutely do know for a fact is that Trump has previously and publicly spoken about Iraq's immense wealth, its powerful oil resources, and major missed opportunities in past years. That established historical context unfortunately made the rumor feel even more convincing and genuine for many emotional viewers. Here is precisely where the current situation gets extremely interesting and complex. Even if the viral clip does not definitively confirm a specific rate, it does strongly and uniquely align with genuine, documented structural changes currently happening inside Iraq. Over the last couple of years, Iraq has strategically taken major steps towards significantly modernizing its entire banking system, cleaning up its vast currency markets, reducing its dollar dependency, and thoroughly preparing for complete global financial integration. Their central bank has openly made public comments about consistently strengthening the dinar's overall domestic purchasing power. They have successfully raised national reserves to officially record highs, implemented much stricter controls on all money transfers, and diligently verified all necessary dollar transactions. And as we continue through 2025, the country is relentlessly pushing forward with advanced new systems specifically meant to connect Iraq much more deeply with the major global financial networks. These verifiable financial moves are entirely real, they are meticulously documented, and they significantly matter. So, when people hear Trump or anyone else speaking positively and confidently about Iraq's profound financial future, the statement does not immediately sound exaggerated or far-fetched to them. It sincerely feels like a very real continuation of a long-building, positive financial trend, not just random political exaggeration. We must also briefly discuss the actual origin of the now famous 96 cents figure. It certainly did not just spontaneously materialize out of the empty air. For numerous years, various speculators and financial analysts have consistently created complex economic models based upon Iraq's economic output, its immense oil reserves, projected reconstruction value, and GDP growth potential. Utilizing these conservative calculations, some estimates have strongly suggested that if Iraq fully restructured its currency, modernized its systems, controlled rampant inflation, and successfully reduced money supply distortion, the hypothetical fair value range of the dinar could naturally fall somewhere between $1 and 50 cents. That particular range is precisely where the 96 cents number originally gained its well-known reputation, not as a truly confirmed, fixed rate, but rather as a theoretical value firmly based upon Iraq's strong underlying economic capability and potential. Over a long period of time, the specific number regrettably became symbolic, serving almost like a specific milestone or a defined target within the tightly knit currency community. So, when the new viral clip suddenly surfaced, eager people instantly, emotionally connected it with the deeply long-standing idea that 96 cents was definitely achievable under the absolute right, perfect economic conditions. But here is the other, equally important side of this entire complex story, the profound emotional side of the long wait. Many dinar holders originally invested over a full decade ago, or even significantly longer. They have helplessly watched Iraq successfully go through continuous sanctions, unstable governments, financial crises, currency manipulation issues, protests, and devastating wars. Throughout all that difficult time, people continuously kept hearing countless unfulfilled promises of a definite revaluation. And then, year after disappointing year, absolutely none of it successfully happened. So, the entire community gradually grew more tired, more skeptical, yet somehow still profoundly hopeful for change. That quiet, stubborn hope eventually transformed into a patient, deep belief that one day, Iraq would financially rise again. For numerous individuals, this powerful rumor was not just purely about money, it was much more about achieving final validation for their long-held belief. It sincerely felt like someone nationally important had finally and officially acknowledged what they had deeply believed all this time. That powerful, emotional surge of hope is a huge underlying factor in exactly why this entire unverified story blew up so quickly and dramatically. When you dangerously combine history, hope, immense frustration, and a short viral political clip, you almost always get a perfect storm for explosive, overwhelming online reactions and speculation. Let's now carefully bring this intense discussion back to documented reality and facts. Iraq is undoubtedly undergoing genuine, deep transformation right now. The nation is actively building new digital payment networks, establishing new trade connections, signing key regional financial partnerships, and consistently modernizing its critical infrastructure. Local banks are successfully switching to advanced international systems, and electronic transactions are reliably increasing every single month. Iraq is now working extremely closely with major regional leaders in countries such as Jordan, Turkey, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia to strategically stabilize trade relationships. Oil revenue streams are very strong, and the vital non-oil sectors are demonstrably and slowly growing stronger. When you successfully combine all of that progress with the diligent efforts to strengthen currency stability and permanently remove all illegal dollar channels, you inevitably begin to clearly see what the ultimate future might successfully look like for the nation. A structurally stronger dinar is definitely not an unrealistic goal. A much more financially valuable currency is not a complete fantasy or pipe dream, but it must be understood as a consistent, strategic, long-term process, a gradual strategic move that heavily depends on strong governance, continued stability, and careful national coordination. Now, let's briefly talk about the wider global context of the financial system. The entire world is currently shifting financially and structurally. New regional alliances are rapidly forming, more countries are actively trading outside the standard US dollar system, digital currencies are significantly rising in prominence, regional economies are now strongly trying to develop their own powerful financial ecosystems and become more financially independent. Iraq is strategically positioned right in the dynamic middle of this massive global shift. They are actively using local settlements for new oil contracts, trading more frequently with China, and successfully building much stronger ties with neighboring Arab states and Russia. When someone nationally prominent like Trump comments publicly on Iraq's significant financial future, the statement logically fits with this consistent global trend of major countries diversifying and actively strengthening their national currencies. It is not politically shocking, it is financially logical. And that is precisely why so many people chose not to dismiss the initial rumor, because the world's financial landscape today looks fundamentally very different than it did even a decade ago. The next immediate question for all investors is, what should dinar holders absolutely pay attention to right now? First and foremost, you must remain grounded and rational. Rumors will always be tempting, particularly when the entire currency community is fired up and excited, but genuine, big financial moves will always come with official central bank announcements, international confirmations, and official government statements. If Iraq ever makes a major currency adjustment, it will definitively appear first through all of the official government channels. Second, you must logically understand that currency transitions consistently follow logical phases: restructuring, stabilization, increasing domestic power, and then full international integration. Iraq is clearly and undeniably moving through these documented phases right now. Third, you must consistently avoid reacting impulsively to unverified claims, private exchange offers, or supposed insider-only rates. Those persistent claims are often either pure misunderstandings or coordinated scams designed to mislead. And finally, always deeply remember the significantly bigger picture. The fundamental reason why people believed in Iraq's potential future was never because of vague rumors. It was always because of the real, verifiable underlying economic potential. So, what exactly happens next in this unfolding story? Over the next coming months, experienced financial analysts will be intensely watching for several key indicators. They will watch for major updates from the Central Bank of Iraq about the definitive currency direction, official announcements regarding lower denominations or new banknotes, and major shifts in the dinar's international visibility on all global financial systems. They will also track increases in electronic banking adoption rates across the nation. If all of these major developments suddenly begin appearing together and consistently, that would serve as a powerful, strong indicator that Iraq is seriously preparing for a major structural shift, whether that shift is gradual or immediate. The viral Trump clip may have successfully triggered all this excitement, but the truly important story lies in the verifiable official actions that will undoubtedly follow. If Iraq strategically continues to push forward with necessary, documented reforms, a structurally stronger currency successfully becomes not just a distant possibility, but an increasingly high likelihood. Now, let's briefly return to the original viral question. Did President Donald Trump officially confirm a 96-cent dinar revalue? The simple, accurate answer is definitively no, at least not through any official, verifiable channel. But what the simple rumor successfully reveals is equally important to understand. It clearly shows precisely how closely the entire world is now watching Iraq's financial movements. It clearly shows how politically and economically ready the world is to easily believe in a major financial shift. And it clearly shows how significantly confidence is continuously growing in Iraq's eventual long-term economic comeback. Even a decade ago, unverified stories like this would have barely attracted any attention whatsoever. Now, they completely dominate social media platforms for numerous days. That single change alone perfectly shows how drastically the entire public narrative has completely changed regarding Iraq. Iraq is no longer seen simply as a nation rebuilding from devastating conflict. It is now strategically seen as a significant rising economic player with the genuine potential to financially surprise the entire world. When we comprehensively look at all the moving pieces of banking modernization, currency reforms, oil production, economic diversification, global alliances, we begin to fully understand why so many people intensely believe a major, significant shift is rapidly coming. Regardless of whether the final exchange number ultimately ends up being 96 cents, 51 cents, or something completely different, the underlying financial direction is abundantly clear to all. Iraq is consistently climbing upward. The viral clip may not be an official confirmation, but it is certainly a clear reflection of current global financial sentiment. People truly believe Iraq's national currency will undeniably strengthen. They believe the country is rising to power, and that collective belief holds immense power, particularly when it is strongly supported by genuine, measurable financial progress. As we confidently wrap up this extended breaking news analysis, let's finally look at what this entire moment fundamentally represents. The internet did not spontaneously explode purely because of one short clip. It strategically exploded because people intensely felt momentum, a real, clearly visible financial momentum that has been steadily building for numerous years. This is definitively not the same Iraq from 2010, 2015, or even 2020. This is a significant new era, a new direction, and a new financial landscape for the region. The 96 cents rumor is undeniably much more than just a specific number. It is a very clear symbol of collective, intense anticipation that Iraq is definitively getting extremely close to something monumentally significant. So, what specific action do you think will happen next? Could Iraq realistically and sustainably reach a much stronger currency value? Do you personally believe the country is actually preparing for a major, definitive financial shift? And how do you truly feel about the viral Trump clip that sparked this entire massive wave of public discussion? Make sure to please leave your thoughtful responses and insights in the comments section below this video. I sincerely want to hear from every single one of you. And if you genuinely want more breaking dinar news, analysis, and factual updates, hit the like button, make sure to subscribe, and immediately turn on all notifications. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay genuinely hopeful because the full story is far from over, and many believe the most important financial chapters are still ahead of us. Imagine waking up one morning and suddenly finding out that the Iraqi dinar, a specific currency many people once completely ignored, has profoundly changed the entire global financial conversation. Could that critical moment finally be truly around the corner for investors? Many now strongly believe that the recent signs are significantly stronger than they have ever been before. Unexpected financial movements inside Iraq's core financial sector, official whispers, and quiet high-level meetings are successfully starting to draw significant attention from seasoned financial analysts around the entire world. People are genuinely wondering if we are currently standing right on the definitive edge of a major revaluation that has the power to transform not only Iraq's entire economy but also the financial lives of both citizens and long-term investors alike. Stay fully tuned because today we are breaking down the absolute latest inside updates, the precise truth behind the lower denomination rumors, and whether this crucial moment could finally be the actual trigger that changes absolutely everything for the dinar. For many weeks now, reports have continuously been circulating about smaller category banknotes potentially being distributed or newly printed inside Iraq. However, insiders who are very familiar with the central banking process emphatically insist that absolutely no new or smaller bills have been officially released to the public yet. While the general anticipation grows immensely, there is a firm, consistent statement coming from those closest to the financial system's core. The new currency designs, including the rumored 50 and 10 denominations, have not been displayed, shown, or physically handed to any private citizens or institutions. That simple fact means Iraq's central bank, CBI, is still meticulously holding its cards very close to its institutional chest and internal decision-making process. Yet, this extended silence from the CBI might be completely intentional, a strategic, deliberate pause taken just before a major, irreversible move is executed. When central banking institutions strategically go completely quiet, it often signals significant and extensive preparation underway, not just simple inactivity or indecision. Behind firmly closed doors, banking representatives and high-level officials are continuously preparing for what some trusted contacts are now confidently calling the activation phase. Trusted contacts further reveal that specific, key personnel within the complex banking network are currently waiting for a single green light, a very direct, non-negotiable order to immediately move forward with the plan. This persistent delay is clearly not about national uncertainty. It is definitively about precise, coordinated timing. Iraq's financial leadership appears strictly focused on fully ensuring that every technical and educational piece of the puzzle is completely ready and set before their citizens officially handle any new notes. This specific, cautious approach strongly suggests that the next definitive major financial shift could happen incredibly rapidly and suddenly once the final authorization is officially granted. The fundamental question remains, who precisely gives that crucial green light, and what specific global or internal trigger are they still waiting for at this late stage? Television broadcasts within Iraq have recently and openly mentioned that high-level government officials are actively seeking coordination with major international powers, particularly France, Britain, and the U.S. Treasury, regarding any potential currency value adjustments. This specific action of formally asking for high-level international permission to move toward a 1-to-1 rate with the US dollar is certainly not a small, trivial matter. It strongly indicates that Iraq's entire monetary strategy might very soon align with core global financial standards and expectations. The key phrase 1-to-1 has immediately caught massive global attention because achieving this would successfully mark a complete, monumental transformation from Iraq's long-standing exchange rate situation. If officially approved and successfully implemented, this drastic move could rapidly launch Iraq's entire economy into a significant new phase of global recognition and unprecedented national confidence. Analysts are already universally describing this strategic move as a truly monumental development for the nation's financial sovereignty. The specific reason for the widespread excitement is perfectly simple. When any sovereign country seriously aims for par value with the US dollar, it is powerfully signaling significant internal financial stability and verifiable strength. For Iraq, achieving this strategic goal would simultaneously and immediately mean the necessary introduction of lower denomination notes to ensure that everyday transactions are finally more practical and financially balanced. Insiders fully expect that if a 1-to-1 rate is achieved, the next entirely natural progression would be to allow the currency to float freely, thus enabling the global market to quickly find its actual, true value. Some astute analysts highly speculate that this real, floating value could eventually approach significant levels reminiscent of Iraq's historical exchange rates, potentially even above $3 to 1 dinar, if the lower denominations are actually and officially introduced to the public. It would serve as definitive evidence that the exchange rate adjustment is either completely imminent or already happening behind the scenes. These smaller physical notes would make absolutely no financial sense within the current exchange environment. Their core purpose is simply to fully support a much stronger currency, one that effectively allows citizens to efficiently use bills in all of their daily transactions. Financial observers universally believe that once Iraq officially rolls out these new, lower denomination notes, the actual exchange rate shift will inevitably follow swiftly and immediately. This singular event would serve as the very first visible, official confirmation that the long-discussed currency revaluation is no longer simply talk or speculation. It is now confirmed action. Recent financial reports consistently indicate small, steady improvements occurring in Iraq's exchange market. The overall value of the US dollar has reportedly started to slightly and consistently decline inside Iraq's domestic market, which is a clear, early sign that the dinar is gradually gaining strength and momentum. These initial movements are currently modest, but every meaningful financial shift always starts small and slowly. A gradual appreciation over time is consistently viewed as a healthy financial sign, clearly showing that the central bank and the government are managing this complex process cautiously and strategically. A very rapid spike in value could easily cause widespread market panic. A slow, steady climb successfully builds necessary public and international confidence. Observers say that this careful, gradual approach might be exactly the strategic process Iraq urgently needs to successfully stabilize its entire economy before any large-scale, final announcement is officially made. Meanwhile, key political developments are also significantly influencing the overall economic stage. A new, enhanced strategic relationships between Western nations and Iraq is being publicly and continuously emphasized, primarily focusing on long-term prosperity and absolute national sovereignty. Key diplomatic statements have actively reinforced the central idea that Iraq's long-term security and absolute financial independence are now major national priorities. Such official messages are extremely important because a currency's value is much more than just money. It is fundamentally about trust and reliability. When powerful international nations openly show confidence in Iraq's leadership and new policies, international investors pay very close attention. It strongly suggests that Iraq's financial future may finally be actively steering away from debilitating dependency and moving directly toward genuine self-reliance. Insiders reveal that Iraq's full rollout strategy will likely be deliberately slow and meticulously managed. This complex transition is much more than simply releasing new currency designs. It is strategically about fully ensuring that all citizens completely understand how to exchange it, trust it, and use it correctly. A sudden, rushed rollout could easily cause confusion, fear, or widespread economic volatility. Instead, the final plan appears to be a very carefully managed transition where the old financial system gradually fades away while the smaller, new notes slowly and progressively appear in circulation across the nation. The ultimate national goal is to safely protect the entire public from making costly financial mistakes and to grant all markets sufficient time to properly adjust to the new reality. This type of measured, careful rollout also successfully prevents dangerous economic shocks, a valuable lesson learned the hard way from other nations that have restructured their currency systems too hastily. Some experienced analysts strongly believe that the long-awaited final rate change will occur immediately after the country successfully finalizes key economic agreements, particularly those dealing with national oil revenues and sharing. Once Iraq's crucial internal budget laws and oil-sharing contracts are fully and officially implemented, the necessary stable foundation will finally be in place for a sustainable and realistic exchange rate shift. Observers are now correctly calling this crucial final street